know God did.
Hold it. He said
I was watching Drinks Champs and man, DJ Khaled's energy, yo, you can't beat that man's energy. How he was telling the story, how he came up with the name.
He's just so positive.
Yeah.
He's so positive.
Kept on saying I'm drunk, guys.
Sometimes you feel like it's faking. Because it's like, how can somebody be so positive all the time? And like that forever.
Hey everyone, thank you guys so much for your continuous support and thank you for clicking this video. If you'd like to find more ways to support us, please visit our website at goodconvosonly.com where you'll be able to find our merch and all of our podcast episodes.
So as you guys can see today, we're trying something new on Eat and Talk. I have a co-host today, my good friend Marc, owner of ClasseMates clothing. But I'm Gilbert, and you know, you guys are used to hearing me say we're back with another episode of Eat and Talk, but today we're not. We are back with another episode of Eat and Talk, but with a different, twist of things. This interview has been. It's been a long time coming. When you guys think about Mount Rushmore of barbers in Minnesota, this man is on it.
Wait, no.
The most humble person I know.
The Mount Rushmore is Henry, and Henry.
Dang. That's how you feel? That's how you feel?
I mean...
For me, I'm just going to say when you think about Mount Rushmore, Henry is on there, in my opinion. I usually tell people, don't be humble. I know you're the most humble person I know, most humble barber I know.
Thank you, bro.
But I wouldn't, I'm not going to introduce you to the people. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I usually tell people, don't be humble. Do not be humble.
Please.
Tell them your resume.
Getting your colored back.
I'm supposed to... God did... No, I'm supposed to talk to the camera.
Henry did.
So my name is Henry Amoloja, but I go by Henry Tribes. I guess that's like my barber name. Been cutting hair for over 10 years.
Don't be humble, Henry. Please, just
owner of Tribes Barber Studio in Fridley. We got a one-chair barber suite in the DMV. So we also got Tribes DMV.
National.
We're going global, man. We're going global. Also got an online academy to teach barbers. It's called Tribes University. That's launched about 2 months ago.
You guys heard it here first in Minnesota.
So we just launched that 2 months ago. It's still growing, and our whole thing is just to build barbers into monsters, and not just with the skills, but with the mindset and with the wealth building. So we're gonna develop barbers into learning how to cut hair, learning how to make money from cutting hair, and then taking that money to build wealth. So it's gonna be the first full comprehensive barbering academy in the world.
I think, shit, man, that's I don't think I can top that introduction, but I don't know, Marc.
I think we need to clap for that.
We need to clap for that. Congratulations on that first academy. But Marc, you want to introduce yourself too, or you want to keep it?
I mean, I'm the co-host, so
go ahead. Say something about yourself.
Well, they call me Marc.
They call you Marc.
They call me Marc.
Why do they call you Marc?
God did.
Marc did. But before we jump into the questions and all that stuff, I brought you guys Malawa. I don't know if you guys have had Malawa before. I don't know what to compare it with, but
where country is that from?
It's Somali.
Somali. Okay.
Have you had crepes before?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
It's kind of like crepes, but you guys can try it out. But
what do you eat it with?
It's just supposed to be like that with tea as well too.
Okay.
So you can try it, and then we'll jump into jump in.
Man, if I may.
But when are we getting the shirts though? That should look nice.
Honestly, I think it's just the Tribes barbers that have the gear right now. I'm just really, and that's why I can't be a designer. I'm just way too picky with what I want. So as far as me picking out designs for what me and my barbers are gonna wear, that's easy. But picking out designs that's gonna be on a grand scale.
Yeah.
And that I'm gonna scale and have everybody wear. That's just different. And I just don't wanna, make Tribes gear because that's just what everybody's doing. And
Right.
That's just what you do as a barber. You make a hoodie, you put your logo on it. I actually want it to be like, you know what I'm saying? I actually want it to be something people want to wear.
Right.
People actually, love wearing. So,
and that's one thing that I want to touch back based on is how different Henry has always been.
You have a fork?
Use your hands. You're from Africa, my G.
Bet that. I was just being respectful to other people eating.
Yeah, but that's one thing I've always liked about you is how different you've been.
I'm good.
You've never been the follower of whatever or whoever. You've always been in your own lane, and that's one thing that I respect about you.
Thank you, man.
I guess, everyone does things different, but your barbering style has always been different. Your studio, well, I guess how you started the barbering lifestyle was different from other people because a lot of people went straight to owning shops, but Henry had a studio first. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like more important. So my first question is, why did you go that route?
So I went into the studio just to, in a way, kind of get a sample size of what Tribes was going to be, right? Because at the time, as you guys know, I was working at Aqua. It's a pretty big brand.
Shout out to Aqua.
And shout out to Keem. And, we were doing pretty well. I was doing pretty well.
Right.
So it just got to the point where I'm like, I need to prove to myself if I'm doing well because it's me or if I'm doing well because I work for a big brand.
Right.
So I just needed...
to separate.
Yeah, I needed to kind of prove that to myself, and I needed like a less risky way to prove that to myself. And the studio was perfect for that because, with opening up a bigger shop, there's just more responsibilities. Mm-hmm. It's a higher capital to start up, more risk. So I'm like, what's a low risk way for me to go on my own and prove to myself that I can survive as an individual barber? So.
You definitely did survive.
You did. Henry did.
We're going to be doing that whole interview. We're going to do that interview. God did.
But hey, you guys, notice one thing, we're all wearing black, we all got diamond.
Wait. Well, money's not diamond, but I'm too humble.
I think we all got the memo today, though. Look how we're
too humble for that.
Black outfits, gold watches.
Yeah. But that's good, though.
I actually want to go back and how about you tell us about Tribes? Like, what is Tribes? What does it mean? What does it represent as a brand or whatever it is? So
the name Tribes doesn't have any deep meaning, honestly. It's just what you think it is. When I was thinking about starting up Tribes, my whole thing was I wanted to build a barbershop around culture. Because being Nigerian, when we first came to America, we had to go into the, American barbershops. Mm-hmm. And, it wasn't always designed to suit us as Africans. You know what I'm saying? We kind of had to conform to their environment. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that's a bad thing, but, when you're just coming from Nigeria, you know how it is. It takes you a while to assimilate with the culture and things like that. So for me, especially with the rise of Afro beats, I'm like, this is the perfect time for me to, launch something where, even if you're not African, anybody from anywhere can just walk in and just know that, okay, there's some kind of culture and vibe. Right. And you can just feel it in the air when you walk in. And we're not going to force it on you. We're not going to, we're not going to make you feel uncomfortable. But when you walk in, it'll just kind of, it's just something you naturally feel, right? Yeah. So that's pretty much what I had in mind when I was building Tribes. It's really centered around Afrobeats. Because if you know me, I don't play with my play with my Afrobeats.
Of course.
So it's centered around Afrobeats, and it's centered around bringing diversity to the barbershop space. So if you walk into the shop, we have a Liberian barber, we have a Togolese barber, or we have two Liberian barbers.
Actually,
Togolese,
Cameroonian,
Nigerian. We had a Cameroonian. He's not with us anymore, unfortunately. But we've had Sudanese, we've had Somali, we've had
everybody.
It's like United Nations in that jump. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where it's intentional. And we also have Americans working in the shop.
And you had a white girl.
You know, we've had white people working at the shop. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, everybody's welcome, but when you walk in, you will kind of feel that.
I think culture is what you make it, right?
Right.
Like the people that you feel like you share certain values with. I understand like where you come from, and want to learn more and things of that nature. Like
Absolutely.
you can build a tribe with people from different tribes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
And I can attest to that. Every time you walk into the barbershop, you can tell that it's just a welcoming like environment. Everybody's just greeting you. Like you can talk, share. You can play.
Absolutely.
How do you call it? Pool.
I can speak for that too.
Ping pong.
Yeah, I can speak for that too. Your studio, for you guys that don't know, it's in Fritley. But I feel like that it's always been a welcoming environment, like you said. Like Marc attests to it as well too. It's always friendly. You know, we've all been to like some barber shops that you have to write your name down or you have to wait in line. But I feel like every single time you walk into Tribes Studio, it's like everyone is willing to help you, whether you don't have an appointment or not.
Absolutely.
There's always someone there that will help you.
Absolutely.
Compared to the other people that that have appointments and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
When it comes to music in the studio, though, like, who has the axe?
That's a good question.
Who has the axe? Because the music, the vibe's gotta be right.
Yeah. When I'm in there, I'm definitely. When I'm in there, I'm definitely on the ox.
And you can tell by the burner boy.
And I think it's just my owner senses kicking in when I'm in the shop.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it might be a kid in the shop and, you know, you don't want any Naira Marley playing with it.
I don't think I've ever heard hip hop at the shop.
We play hip hop sometimes.
Really?
We play hip hop sometimes.
It's always been Afrobeat.
We definitely play hip hop sometimes, and sometimes we even play more. You know, the more chill stuff. You know, we'll play like, you know, R&B, or we'll play like, you know, the more jazzy stuff. Like on a Saturday morning, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't want to walk into work on Saturday morning with the fast-paced music, you know what I'm saying? So, but when I'm in there, I'm definitely on the ox, and you know Burna Boy's playing when I'm in there.
With that being said, you went to the Burna Boy concert, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was my 4th Burna Boy concert that I've been to.
Burna Boy, if you guys don't know where Burna Boy is, tell him to reach out to Henry, Tribe Studio.
Yep.
For a lineup the next time he's in Minnesota.
Hey, you know, I'm an outsider, so
I
Burna
mean,
Boy.
not just Minnesota, my guy can travel.
Hey, I'll travel, I'll drop everything. Hey, Burna Boy and LeBron are the only 2 people that I would drop everything, like, on the spot to go cut their hair. Burna Boy and LeBron.
Now you're a true fan. But like, let's go back. You did mention that you've been cutting hair for 10 plus years, right? I should say 10 plus years. How was that transition? Because I know you come from an African home.
Right.
It's either you're a doctor, you do IT, you're a lawyer, or you do something in business.
Right.
They never heard of barbering.
Yeah.
So how was that transition like?
The transition was tough, but it wasn't tough because my mom supported me. My sister supported me.
Shout out to mom.
She's a different kind of African mom, you know. For her to give me her blessing when I was like, you know, I'm going to barber school, because I went to barber school after graduating college, which is, I mean, we're all Africans. You know, once you graduate with 1 degree, what do your parents do? They ask you when you're gonna go get the other one.
Another one.
Where are you gonna go get your master's or your PhD? You don't stop at undergraduate degree. But I told my mom I'm going to barber school, and she gave me her blessing. So
wait, no. It can't be that simple. It cannot be that simple. In an African household, you have to tell us what really happened.
Like what? So
what really happened? How many times did you tell her that?
It's not like it came out of the blue. I had been cutting hair all through college, and when I would come home, I would cut hair in her bathroom. So she saw the progress.
She saw it coming.
It's not like I just woke up one day and was like, Mom, I'm going to barber school. She saw the progress, and I had been very vocal about, Mom, I'm going to open up a barbershop one day. I'm going to open up a business.
Okay, so she had an idea.
She had an idea, and you know, my mom, she understands that if her son says he's going to go after something, he's going to go after it, and he's going to, you know, he's going to do what he says he's going to do.
And I think that's, you know, not to cut you short, but we're going to come back to that. I feel like that's what this generation of parents have to be able to understand, that, okay, if my son says he wants to go and do this, let him do it.
Right.
Let him do it.
It's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done.
But get back to your story.
It's easier said than done. And I think that, you know, my mom, I think she just wants her kids to be happy. She's not gonna make you do something you don't want to do. As long as you're happy and you're good, I think that's what she cares about the most. So what was hard about the transition was more in my head. Like, I think I was getting in my head of like growing up where, you know, conventionally you're supposed to, like he said, be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Especially growing up, like I was really, really, really smart, really good at school, really good at math. So, you know, I think everyone, when I was a kid, everyone probably expected me to be some kind of, I was on the doctor, engineer, lawyer trajectory. Yeah. But, you know, I came to America and America just made me dumber, I guess. America just made me dumber, I guess, because I started being more of a creative somewhere along the line.
Right.
So it was just more in my head. What would people think of me being a barber, being Nigerian? What are Nigerian parents going to say? Because, you know, I would have Nigerian parents tell me crazy stuff like when I went to school and I was studying business, I would have Nigerian parents tell me stuff like, oh, so you took the easy route.
What?
Yeah, so just little comments. Just little comments like that. And it's like, okay, that's what I've been hearing. But now it's like, forget that. Like, I'm going to barber school. Like, what will people think of me? When people ask me, what do you do? Instead of saying, you know, I'm a account executive or a senior marketing specialist. You know, how does it sound for me to say I'm a barber? You know what I'm saying? So I think I had to get over that.
I mean, let's not like understate that, because 10 years ago, being a barber wasn't like as cool as it is today.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that was a big jump.
Definitely.
Like, but what made you think, like, at that point in your life, like having all of that, having an undergrad, and all of, like, did you see somebody that you were like, okay, I want to be that person, or I want to try to emulate that person?
A good question.
That's a really good question.
There wasn't, because you and Akeem basically started at the same time, so he cannot be like, oh, I watch Akeem do it.
So Akeem actually started before me.
Okay.
Akeem went to barber school, I want to say in 2009, 2010, and I just graduated barber school 2015.
Okay.
So Akeem started before me, but I didn't meet him until barber school. So I think I met Akeem in 2014, 2015. But in college, honestly, I was just freestyling. Like, I didn't know Akeem. There was no YouTube videos back then. There was no Instagram reel. There was no, like, we didn't have such a big platform like we have now. It was just, honestly, me just trial and error. I would just start out with people that I knew, you know, like my roommates. You know, shout out to my roommates, man. Shout out to Jerry, Devon,
It's always
James,
a roommates.
It's always your close friends.
Boomer.
You be pushing that headline back to practice.
My roommates, we would literally be sitting there watching an NBA game, and I would go, I think I can do that Dwayne Wade haircut. Like, let me try it on you. And, you know, these dudes were actually, they believed in me enough to be like, okay, bet. Like, let's, you know.
Wait, did they believe in you, or were they like, all right,
okay,
this is free. This is free. This is free.
And that's something, too, that I want to go back to on the creative side of Henry. It's like, you still do the creative things, because if you follow him on social media, he is still being creative. Like,
100%.
I be seeing hairstyles. I'm like, okay, Henry, like, did you pay this guy extra money to try that on him? Or did he come in and be like, I want that style?
Sometimes I'll do it for free, because creativity is like medicine. You see what I'm saying? Like, and what we do can get repetitive. You know, you cutting the same people every other week. You seeing the same people. It gets repetitive. So for me, the creative haircuts that I do, or the creative stuff I do, kind of, you know, just throws it off a little bit. You know, kind of keeps me alive as a barber, and, you know, also make sure I don't get burnt.
Don't be humble, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there should be a different name for, like, barbers that are like, that take their craft more than just cutting hair. It's more like it's art.
Definitely.
It's like you say, you're creative.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I'm probably gonna cut hair forever.
Right.
I don't think I'll be a full-time barber forever.
Dang, I've never heard that before.
I'm definitely gonna cut hair forever, even if it's like, we're 50 years old, and you know what I'm saying, like, you know, at this point, you know what I'm saying, like, we got our families, and, you know, I got my house, and it's like, oh, you know, Mark, you know, Gilly, come through, like,
whose hair you gonna be cutting? I'll be bald by that time.
and that's what I'm saying, is like, at that point, you know, I do S&P as well, so
by that time, we're gonna talk about that.
Actually,
we're gonna jump into that.
But no, I'm gonna cut hair forever. Because eventually, I just want to use cutting hair as like a way to like keep and sustain relationships. So it's like, Gilly, Mark, you know, come over. You know, I haven't seen you in a while. Come through. You know, let me cut your hair. Let's catch up. let's exchange information.
See, I feel like that's
what I'm saying?
I feel like that's way.
I'm not even gonna charge. It's just like a way to just like, you know what I'm saying? You know how some people play golf or play tennis to keep a relationship going? I kind of want to use barbering.
But I want you to talk your shit though, because by that time, you probably will have hundreds of Tribes Studios all around the world.
We're gonna be global by then.
So you don't have to cut.
We're gonna be global by then. I shouldn't have to cut by then.
You shouldn't have.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have to cut. We're gonna be global by then. 100%.
But you want to still keep that cutting mentality, like
100%. I want to use it as a way, like I said, to sustain relationships and to build on relationships, and also to keep some level of creativity alive. Definitely.
What if your daughter says she wants to be a barber?
Then I would go buy her a first pair of clippers.
That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear.
So yeah.
But that's actually good though. The passion, I can tell that you have the passion when it comes to barbering, because I've never, with jobs, the first thing that comes out of someone's mouth is, oh, I want to get to that level that I don't have to do it no more. But Henry just sat here and told us that he wants to be cutting hair when he's old, 100%. So shout out to you though for that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So like I said, don't be humble, man. Don't be humble. Don't be humble. Your resume is too big. It's too big. But the next question, because I know you've always challenged yourself and all that stuff. So what made you decide to take the next level into barbering? I don't even want to know who came up with that idea. Is it hair implants or what is the title for it? What is it? Yeah.
So
it's BBL for guys.
So
it's BBL for guys.
No, literally though. Literally, it's technically in the permanent makeup industry, and permanent makeup involves things like, whatchamacallit, the permanent eyebrows,
I've heard about that.
microblading. I think even enhancing like the lips is also in the permanent makeup industry. So SMP falls right into that.
SMP.
And it's called SMP, which stands for scalp micropigmentation. And it's essentially using a tattoo gun, or like an actual tattoo gun and a tattoo ink, to make little tiny impressions on the scalp that mimics like a real hair follicle. So it's literally like black dots.
Is it like chemical that you put on?
It's literally a tattoo ink. It's ink.
Wait, does the hair grow?
It's not hair. It's an illusion. Does that make sense?
wait. So is it like, do you just do it to the hairline, or do you do it to the entire?
It depends on the client. So some clients do the SMP, just write it on the hairline because they're thinning, or maybe got a receding hairline. But some people actually shave their entire head, and then it's just the tattoos.
Wait,
so
I'm still confused,
so you don't need a haircut then after that?
All you would need to do is shave your hair down, and you permanently have like a tattoo that looks like real hair.
I'm still confused. So your hair, so you said it's an illusion.
It's an illusion, yes, because it looks like
this
hair,
whole time I was thinking the man was like basically your hair.
No, so you're thinking of hair transplants, and I think those services are performed in Turkey, Colombia. You're thinking of hair transplants where they actually take off hair follicles from the back of your head and transplant it surgically onto the front. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not even licensed or have the credentials to do that.
But this is an illusion.
Yes, so this is an illusion because we're literally tattooing small black dots onto somebody's scalp, and if done correctly,
I think Gilbert is because he's going really.
If done correctly, it just looks like really, really, really short hair.
So basically, you guys, because you guys' prices are getting
right
ridiculous right now. So when that time comes, I feel like, but I'm joking. You guys, I think when it comes to barbering prices, respect to everyone that the prices are going up, but. Do you think that's going to be like the new thing now, or it's more for people just to have an option of?
Well, I don't think it's new. I don't think it's new. I think
it's
the rest
new to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The rest of the industry is just catching up. 4.5 years ago, I flew to Elegance Barbershop in LA, and I remember this was 4.5 years ago in 2018, and they were charging $100 for a cut, $50 for a lining.
Whoa, hold up. Take us back. Did you say $50 for a lineup?
Yeah, $50 for a line and $100 for a cut. And this is 4.5 years ago. So this is before COVID, before inflation, before all of that. They were charging $100 for a cut. So for me, I was like, and I I got a haircut, and I realized that the haircut they did wasn't any better than the haircuts we were doing at Aqua's at that time for $25, $30. And that's when it hit me that, okay, the market matters. Obviously, they in Hollywood, they on Melrose, in LA. So the market matters, but also it was the way they were branding themselves. Like back then they were doing all these barber videos, and now it's like a big thing, barber videos, reels, but back then they were some of the first barbers to like make that like a thing,
right.
Making these cool, almost like they're shooting music videos in the barbershop. And they also had a huge product called Elegance Shave Gel back then that everybody in the industry used. So the barbershop was built around that product. And it was also really, really, really good barbers in the room. So they all kind of just elevated themselves. You see what I'm saying? Like if you walked into the barbershop, you would get cut by an elite barber who was like Diddy's barber, who has like 300,000 followers on Instagram, who, what I'm saying? Like they were all really good barbers that had really big brands. So they all kind of just elevated each other. So I wouldn't say it's a new thing. I would say the rest of the industry is just, now catching up. And obviously inflation and COVID also helped boost the prices.
So when it comes, since we're in the topic of pricing,
right.
So when it comes to boosting that price, I know
right.
I've had Melly on here and I've
right.
had Akeem on here,
right.
and they've all explained the logic to why that price is the way it is.
Right.
I get cut by Patrick, and he tells me.
Shout out Patrick, man.
Well, shout out to everybody that cuts my hair. But when it comes to, deciding your price, how do you
right.
go about it?
I think it's a few factors that should decide your price as a barber. For me, the first thing is demand. Right.
This is why this man is humble. Keep going.
For me, the first thing is demand. You got to have that demand. I don't think it makes sense for you to go up in prices if your books aren't full.
That's true.
So you got to have the demand. The second thing is you got to have a big personal brand, because you get to a certain level where you start realizing that people aren't really paying for a haircut. They're paying for you. And the haircut is just a byproduct of that. Right?
It's an experience.
It's an experience. And they're paying because it's you.
Right.
Like people will pay. Like I've had people literally like pay me for, you could tell they didn't really need a haircut. They just wanted to come see me.
That's love.
That's what I'm saying.
That's love.
And for whatever reason, whether it's to support me or to vent about something happening in their personal lives. It's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And also another factor is the skill itself. Okay. I think I'm big on the actual skill.
We know.
Like I'm big on mastering the skill. Yeah. So for me, that also counts for something. Keep learning, keep diversifying your skills, keep getting better, and that can also help elevate your pricing. So I'll say those three things.
Both things were there. Pricing still again. So how important is Bookski for you?
Honestly, books is everything.
Okay.
Hold on, let me finish chewing.
That's why I'm talking. That's probably why we're going to eat. Why we're doing this.
Books is everything. I don't think I understood how important Booksy was till I moved to DC.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because being in a new market, not knowing anybody, starting from scratch, Booksy is really what did like the heavy lifting for me as far as getting me clients. And I was lucky enough to be able to transfer all my portfolio and my reviews to the DMV. Yeah. So Booksy helped me set up in a way where I wasn't starting from ground zero.
Scratch, yeah.
So as soon as I changed my address and my Booksy profile started populating over there, they could see that I already had a lot of reviews. They could see I'm experienced. They could see that I have the portfolio. So as soon as I transferred my address, I just started getting clients on day one. And I just kept building on that. And I think within 4 months, I started being booked. And Booksy got a lot to do with that. Instagram also helps a lot. But I would say Booksy is probably the number one client acquisition factor, definitely.
So that leads me down the next question. Now we go from Booksy to the most important thing now in the world, right. Social media.
Yep.
So how important has social media been for you guys now than back then? 10 years ago?
When I first started, Instagram was still, I don't even think they had videos.
Yeah, we didn't have videos, did we?
They didn't even have videos, and the pictures were still low quality. Yeah. I mean, this is back when we were swiping for filters, I think, or we were, you would have these preset filters, and Instagram was just not where it is today. So obviously, Instagram has completely changed the barbering industry as much as it probably changed a lot of other industries.
For sure.
So I just think what Instagram has done for barbers is it's given us a platform to be able to show off our skills, right? And not just show off our skills, but show off everything else that we're doing. As far as in our personal lives, in our business, because barbering has a lot of moving parts, and clients or our audience love seeing that. They love seeing that. You travel to Arizona for a barber show. They love seeing that. You started an academy and you teach. I feel like stuff like that only helps boost your brand, and Instagram and social media gives us that platform to be able to do that.
I mean, I think as helpful as it is, if you're not skilled,
right,
you're still not going to be able to make it. Because I see a lot of barbers out here that,
right,
even though they have a social media presence, they post things,
right,
you see what they post, even the quality of the post is like, there's a difference between what I see on Henry's page and Akim's page to what I'm seeing here. So, like, you have to be skilled in a way, creative, like you say.
Absolutely. The skill matters. Yeah. The skill matters a lot. And, I always tell people, like, you can have the barber who maybe isn't that skilled, but is, like a social media marketing genius. Mm-hmm. And then you got the barbers who are really, really skilled, who don't take advantage of
the social media
platform. You see what I'm saying? And for me, I always teach barbers, you want to have the skill and you want to use your social media.
You should be able to combine those two.
Yeah, you should be able to have both. You don't want to be the barber on social media that's faking it, and when the client comes sits in your chair, the haircut isn't really, aligning with what they're seeing on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You want to you just don't want to lie. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, with Instagram and all these things, I feel like it's easier for barbers to make themselves maybe look better than they are.
That was actually going to be my next question. That it was like, when it comes to that aspect of things, like, what advice would you give a barber that it's skilled, undercutting, but when it comes to posting on social media, it's like they're not skilled there. So how would you advise them to promote themselves?
I mean, put your art out there into the world. And that's always my advice. Like, for me, it's like, obviously it's going to help you and it's going to help boost your brand. But for somebody who's just a student of the game, I feel like you're doing me a favor when you post your art out there into the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love scrolling down my news feed and seeing really good work. Mm-hmm. So just don't be intimidated by what you see on the internet. Yeah. A lot of people have, mastered how to, like I said, make it look a little bit better, a little bit sweeter on the internet. But in reality, you might actually even be a much better barber. But you just don't have the confidence in yourself, or you feel intimidated by what you're seeing on the internet, to where you feel like you're not good enough. Your work isn't good enough. So just believe in yourself. Invest in one of the newer iPhones so your work looks really good. Because what I'm saying, that's another factor. Is you don't want to have good work and take bad pictures.
And that's the thing.
It's just not doing your work.
That's true. And I feel like if you in a barber shop and you see someone with an Android phone, they're definitely gonna be clown. I haven't been in any barber shop and seen a barber with an Android phone. It's always been iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, you just want to take good pictures of your work. You don't want to be, because there are barbers who do really, really good work, but just don't know how to take good pictures. And perception is reality. Mm-hmm. How people perceive what your haircuts look like online is how they're gonna, perceive it, being in reality.
They probably need social media managers.
Yeah, but not everybody has the means. I mean, I'm at the point where I feel like I need a social media manager, because I'm managing 4 Instagram pages at this point.
Yeah. Talk your shit.
Yeah, don't be humble.
But I think honestly, you just gotta if you just watch what's going on, like, you can see okay, this is how Henry's doing it. This is how this person is doing it. This is how this barber is, posting their pictures. And you could just, just take what they're doing, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, the answers are already out there. Like, just, take it and run with it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's I think that's one thing about barbers too that I respect is you guys are not scared to help. Because even, not putting names out there, I was in the barber shop getting a cut, and the person cutting my hair, they asked for help how to post my haircut on social media, which
right.
was like, okay, that's cool. That at least you're able to respect the fact that you're not good at posting something and you're willing to help someone else.
Right.
Help you post it. So
right.
I think barbers have to understand that it's okay to ask for help too. If you're not good at posting your work, trust me. Tap your next barber that has been doing it for a while to be like, post this.
Definitely.
Definitely. Take this picture for me.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
And, I think we barbers have a lot of pride that we don't want to ask the next barber for help. And, if you're working in a really good barbershop and you're
surrounded... I don't think it's just barbers, though. It's just men.
Maybe it's the male pride. Maybe it's a little bit of the male pride. Just ask the man next to you, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? How did you... get to 10,000 followers? How do you get so many appointments off the internet? Like, can you teach me? And if it's a good person, they should be able to share that information with their colleague.
Is it safe to say that right now no barber can succeed without social media?
I wouldn't say that you can't succeed, but you just grow at a really slow rate.
Yeah, okay.
Like if you had two barbers and the one barber wants to grow organically, or by handing out business cards, or by some of the more traditional methods, he won't grow as fast as the other barber who uses social media. The barber using social media will grow twice as fast, if not more. So I think that's the difference. But I'm not gonna say you won't succeed. I just think it'll take a lot longer.
Yeah. So in terms of the Tribes University,
okay.
How is it going so far?
Tribes University is going great, and I'm glad I have this platform to be able to talk about Tribes University, because that's my biggest focus right now is getting 1,000 people in the academy by December. That's a huge goal of mine.
Wow.
Yeah. By December, getting 1,000 barbers on the academy. So, it's going really well. I've been recording content for the academy every Tuesday.
So what's the process of getting into there? Is there a sign up sheet?
So to get onto Tribes University, you pretty much have to sign up for our free Discord. And that's pretty much where you get all the information on the progress of the academy coming along, because we haven't launched the website yet.
Okay.
I'm still recording the content. I'm still working on the curriculum. So as that's in the works, we're growing our community on the Discord. I think we have about 250 barbers on the Discord already. So
University.
So we're slowly building that strong barber community where, we help each other out. We give each other feedback. We hop on live calls to where I'll, teach barbers how to use Booksy, teach barbers how to, file taxes, just kind of, showing them the ropes and teaching them how to be great outside of cutting hair. We're going to have a real estate class here in the next few weeks. And like I said,
changing the game.
Just having that
guy's a mogul.
Just having that full comprehensive academy that teaches you everything from how to do a taper to how to buy a house. So
and buy houses.
Buy houses, yes, buy houses.
Henry's on a different lane of his own. Shout out Tribes University. Yeah, everyone has their own lane, but Henry, you have to
appreciate it, man.
We have to give you your flowers right now.
Man, thank you, bro.
To be honest with you, from seeing you grow from the studio to in Fridley and then to the DMV area, now we're hearing about Tribes University. It's I
heard you cutting Joe Biden. Is that true?
Hey, he just canceled $10,000 in student loans, so I just might have to,
Good looking.
I just might have to. So in the DMV, we do get a lot of politicians that come around.
Really?
Maybe not the president, but you get a lot of lobbyists come to the barbershop to get haircuts. So it's a great market.
Do you charge them differently?
Yeah. No. I try not to. With barbering, I try to standardize everything. You know what I'm saying? Because and a lot of clients wonder, like, okay, so if I'm only getting a taper, why do I have to pay the same amount as if I'm cutting hair off the top? Or if I'm, doing a big chop or whatever it is. And as barbers, we have to standardize our prices, because I'm not going to have like 30 services on my booksy, because then it just gets confusing. And, then it's like, okay, if you get a taper, you don't take nothing off the top, it's this price. If you get a taper with lining, no beard, it's this price. It just gets a little bit too messy. So we kind of have to standardize everything, And I don't charge anything different because somebody is, a lobbyist or famous or whatever the case is. Now, if I'm doing a house call, like if I'm coming to you, that's going to be a different price. Okay. And if you want to tip me, if you want to tip me 200%, I'm not bad. I'll definitely take it.
Another thing too that I've been keeping up with too with you is it's your whiteboard Wednesdays.
Oh yes, whiteboard Wednesday.
So that's when he talk his shit.
So what made you decide to start doing
whiteboard Wednesday?
The only barber that I know that honestly, that's like I said, we have to give you your flowers while you're still here. You're the only barber that I know that is actually I don't want to say the other barbers are not giving back, but you are actually one barber that has gained the art of barbering, understand how it works, and is trying to give it out there for free.
Definitely.
Definitely be giving out free game. Here you go.
Definitely.
Here you go. So what made you decide to start doing Whiteboard Wednesday?
So Whiteboard Wednesday. So Whiteboard Wednesdays is just it's just honestly a way for me to talk about different things within barbering, right? And using the whiteboard as a way to visualize things, right? Visualizing things helps keep people's attention a little bit more. So Whiteboard Wednesdays is pretty much just me writing on the whiteboard and talking about what I'm writing on the whiteboard. And I think the first Whiteboard Wednesday I had was where I highlighted the difference between a quality barber and a quantity barber. So what's the difference as far as the numbers, as a barber who charges less than a quality barber, but he does more haircuts, but he charges less and he makes more money because he does so many haircuts. And just highlighting the difference between that and somebody who maybe charges more, doesn't do as many haircuts and doesn't make as much money, but puts out more quality work out there into the world. So that's pretty much Whiteboard Wednesday. It's just another part of Tribes University and just educating people.
Respect that.
When it comes to getting a haircut and taking getting in there and leaving 45 minutes later, right? You sit in the barber chair,
right,
and then you see the barber next to your barber cutting someone. you sit in the chair, you start getting your haircut, and you're done, and that barber is still there, with that same client,
right,
and then you're like, is it not good enough, or what's going on?
Right.
So how do you get to a point where you can cut hair fast, but also
quality, right?
Quality, efficiently,
right? And you kind of got to find that sweet spot for yourself as a barber, right? Whether it's an hour, 45 minutes, 40 minutes, you got to find that sweet spot because I take an hour on my I schedule an hour windows for each client.
That's good.
I don't necessarily take the whole hour. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I do it because, in between clients, I might be creating content. I might be doing a reel, and sometimes I honestly just want to rest my feet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not, I'm at the point where I'm not going to overwork myself.
Oh, you want to talk about music?
You want to talk about the new Burna Boy album. You know what I'm saying? When I'm cutting your hair, I'm not. I do a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? I talk to my clients.
That's how it should be.
I talk to my clients a lot because, you know what I'm saying? And when you're cutting hair and you're talking, you're gonna go a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't just want my clients to come in, I do their haircut, and they're out the door. Because realistically, I can cut hair in 30 minutes. Realistically. But I stretch it out to an hour because, I want to do a little bit more extra detail, and I want to talk to my clients, and I just don't want to feel like I'm working under pressure, you know, and I want to set that vibe.
And like you say, like building relationships, right? Like building connections, and that gives you the platform to do that, because you have an hour with the client, then you can talk about different things,
right?
Have conversations,
right? And I think out of all the positives and all the good things about barbering, I think to me the biggest thing I've gotten out of barbering is information exchange. Right, is literally clients sharing information with you, and not even necessarily
what kind of information we talking about?
Not even like personal, like gossiping.
Okay, you have to tell us. What's the craziest shit somebody ever told you?
Oh man, what's the craziest?
Don't give names. Just
what's the craziest thing I've.
So people come in and like just talk about like how they cheating on their girls and like shit like that.
People talk about everything. One of the craziest thing I've heard in the barbershop is we had a client come into the barbershop, right? And he was a walk-in. And he had just, gotten a haircut, whatever. It took like 30, 40 minutes. And then, he asked the barber, how much is the haircut? And the barber said, I think at the time it was like $30, $35. He says it's $30, $35. And the client said, damn, that's more expensive than sex. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. Did I just hear what I think I heard? But you know what I mean? I'm just minding my business. I'm like, I'm just going to keep cutting this hair. I'm going to pretend like I ain't hear what that man just said. But there's just no, I've heard it all.
And that's the thing with barbering, though. Like the barber environment, you can just anything can be said in a barber shop, right? Regardless of whether it's personal, or business, or whatever, right? And I think with your barbers, and then with Akeem's barber, I feel like that's always been the environment that. People feel so welcome to have conversations. Like there's been times I'm be sitting in the chair, I'm hearing conversation, and the fun part is like you can jump into anyone's conversation.
Of course. I just be laughing.
Of course. And you can talk about Afrobeats, sports, the NBA.
But you guys have like
anything
code of ethic like that. Whatever is set, I know that you guys have to follow protocol. If someone comes and they tell like, oh well, I'm about to commit suicide, I'm pretty sure you guys have to.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Forward with
I don't think that ever happened.
And you'd be surprised. Dealing with clients servicing clients with depression is a real thing. Wow. Yeah, that's a real thing. And it gets to the point where you have clients who book you not even for the haircut, but because they need somebody to somebody to talk to. And I've definitely had that. Wow. Absolutely.
That's right.
And at that point, you kind of just gotta. They say barbers are like therapists.
Yeah. I got in trouble with this, like, for this before, but I said that your relationship with your barber is more important than your relationship with your significant other. I mean,
to an extent, because like he said,
if you have the right barber,
because like you said, sometimes you guys are like therapists, because
absolutely
a man's haircut is important to him. So you gotta have that important relationship with your barber, and at the same time too, your barber, you guys are spending an hour together.
Right.
You need that person to be able. Like I wouldn't say it's like more important than you think, but there's some extent of importance.
I think it just you kind of get like a neutral, like viewpoint of things, right? Because like you said, like there's some things when you speak to your mutual or significant other. They will have a certain viewpoint. You see what I'm saying? If you talk to your friends, they might have a certain viewpoint. I think sometimes it's really nice to talk to somebody on the outside who will give you like a neutral kind of perspective on things. And, why not do it while getting a haircut? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it also works that way too. But, I'm also a big advocate for therapy. Like if, if you feel like, you need somebody to talk to and, your family and friends is not really doing it, I'm a big advocate for go pay for that therapist.
I second that.
And put your mental health first.
Tell Gilbert.
But listening to you talk, Henry, I want to go back to like the Tribe University, because that has actually like been sticking in my head. The name is catchy too.
Oh, so thank you.
But is it safe to say that you actually are doing what the school system has lacked, educating people? Because I know you mentioned that with the Tribe Studio, you're teaching them how to do taxes.
Right.
You're teaching them how to, buy houses and all that stuff. Is it safe to say that that's everything that you've gathered information from everybody, and now you're putting it into a university of your own? Right.
And I would say the conventional universities, and I went to University of Minnesota Duluth. I just think the university or the conventional university is great for people who are studying something very specific. You see what I'm saying? So if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer,
that's always been my important.
If you're going into psychology, whatever it is, if it's a very specific industry to where you need like
license.
really, you need a license and you need a really deep knowledge within that specific field, then your conventional college and university is perfect for you. If you're more somebody who's like in a broader field, like your liberal arts, your businesses,
YouTube University,
things like that. I just feel like there's just so much information out there on the internet to where, maybe $20,000 a year in tuition might not be worth it. The internet, things like Tribes University, is there for you to just, you can log in whenever, watch the videos whenever, and start actually applying the knowledge immediately. So online education is a really, 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 really big industry right now. I mean, even me myself, I've been a student of a lot of different online academies. I've learned e-commerce online. I've learned Forex online. I've learned, you name it. I've learned I've probably watched over 2,000 hours worth of YouTube videos learning something. And I just feel like that's where we're headed as a society is maybe
the information is out there.
The information is out there, and maybe having more structured online platforms to give out this information to people. And that's where Tribes University comes
because you can get lost in all of that.
Yeah, it can be like you can go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so much information. And these days you don't really know who's bullshit. You don't really know who's actually doing what they're saying they're doing. There's a lot of people capping on the internet. And you also have a lot of influencers who are, doing crazy things to get people to, pay money for their academies, and it's not really, genuine information. So just trying to stay true, right, to what I know, and even growing the university way, way, way beyond me, and starting to bring in other professionals and other educators. Because I don't know about the real estate industry, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be the one teaching people how to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring in DJ Banky to come teach people how to do
Shout out to DJ Banky.
Shout out to DJ Banky. So I'm going to bring in professionals in whatever industry that. And if you guys remember, back then we used to teach classes at Tribes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
so we taught credit, e-commerce, travel hacking, even real estate. We taught so many different things before COVID.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's also where I got the idea from Tribes University. It's just continuing what we already started back then, but this time it's just going to be online and virtual. So
that's
it's definitely a good platform.
I think so. Tribes University about to blow up. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
People are going to learn. I think the upcoming generation of barbers they need to know that knowledge. They need to know that just because you're making this money cutting hair, you got to invest that money somewhere else. It's not about just looking fly, doing this, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to take that money and put it somewhere else.
And anyone who knows me as a barber knows that's my number one thing is learning.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how big you are, I don't care how famous you are, I don't care how much money you got. You just can't stop learning. And that's what I meant by the exchange of information from clients to the barber. I've learned more as a barber than I did in my 4 years in business school. You see what I'm saying? And that's from talking to people and exchanging information. It's even down to the point where, like, my wife, like, anytime we need something, like, or anytime we're trying to figure something out, she'd be like, just ask one of your clients. You have clients who know something about something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So being a barber is, man, it's just like a life hack because we have all the resources and we have access to all the resources and knowledge. Literally.
And I feel like you're the only one that has been able to take that knowledge and go far. Like, go forward. Not saying that all the other barbers haven't, but you are the one that has that. I think the world, I think Minnesota has been able to see it.
And I think going to college has a lot to do with that.
That's true too.
A lot of people would tell you that, how do you feel that you're not using your degree? And I'm like, I use my degree every day. You know what I'm saying? I use my degree when I, do some public speaking. I use my degree when I'm, crunching out numbers for finances. Like, I use my degree every single day. Maybe not in a direct way, where it's like, I got this job because of the degree. But, I think going to school, going to college for 4 years definitely helped feed that, like, student mentality that I have. You see what I'm saying? Just being a student of the game forever. So
you just mentioned your wife,
right?
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. Shout out to you, baby.
and shout out to your son.
Oh yeah, shout out Zion, man. Shout out Zion wherever you are right now, King.
But what I was getting at is, like when you're trying to accomplish things in life, there comes a time where you have to make a decision about whether you want to go all in on that dream of yours, and put your personal life on hold, or focus on your personal life, and then after that's done, then you focus on your dream, right? Or you can do both at the same time. Talk about how hard it is, and which part did you take?
I'm crazy enough to feel like I can do it all. You know what I'm saying? So I never really accepted, for example, like when I first opened up Tribes, I was in a long distance relationship. And, I had a few people tell me that, something's got to give. You can't sustain a long distance relationship and a brand new business. And, fast forward 3 years, I'm married with a second business. With a 6-month-old son. I think that, and this is just huge credit to my wife. Like, my wife understands that when you're an entrepreneur, there is no work-life balance. We try, don't get me wrong, but there is no work-life balance. Even when I'm home with my son, I'm working. You see what I'm saying?
But is that good? Or like, how does that affect you? Like,
how does it affect me
personally?
You just make it work. It's one of those things where when you're faced with certain challenges and you have no other choice, you just make it work. You see what I'm saying? And I spend my mornings with my son, and I don't compromise on that. There's no amount of money anybody can pay to have me come into work a little bit early.
Shout out
you see what I'm saying? So I don't compromise that time. Now, at night, you see what I'm saying? When I get home, he's usually already getting ready for bed. So sometimes I'll stay a little bit later. You see what I'm saying? So at night, I know usually when I get home, if he's already going to be in bed anyways, I might as well take that extra client for, X amount of money. Because you have people who offer you to pay you more money to stay. So, but to answer your question, you just figure it out. I have a lot of things going on, and having a wife and a baby, it makes it really, really, really hard. But like I said, you just wake up and you just keep going, and I'm, still able to go to the gym and still able to do all these things. You just find a way to make it work. Because I don't subscribe to the mentality of, now that you're a dad or now that you're married, then you can't go to the gym anymore. You can't, you're going to have to stop running more. Like, I don't really subscribe to any of that way of thinking. I feel like if you're intentional about stuff and you have a solid partner, and that's why I said shout out to my wife.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to wifey. If you have a solid wife holding it down, and you have a good support system around y'all, you can make anything happen.
Right.
So
that's congratulations to you, Henry. I know.
Congratulations
I know
sure.
Part 2 is coming, but I know you got to run.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're honored here at Eden Talk that you were able to make the interview
Appreciate
today.
y'all for having me. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for having me.
So,
Thank you.
Is there anything, like any advice? I usually want, people to give that best advice to any kid out there that's watching, to any barber coming up in the game. What advice would you give them?
For any barber coming into the game, just keep an open mind and never stop learning. Believe in your ideas. Trust your instincts. Believe in your intuition. Your intuition will serve you right. Your intuition is better than any advice you'll ever get from anybody. Whatever that inner voice or feeling is telling you to do, go after that. never stop learning, never stop getting better. Even if you feel like you've reached a ceiling, just take a step outside and realize there's a whole sky out there. There's a whole sky full of opportunities out there. And do not create a ceiling for yourself. Just keep being genuine, keep being an outsider, keep thinking different, and
keep going, keep the advice going,
and just keep going. I think that's something I didn't talk about is, I'm at the point right now where like I'm working so hard, even if I don't have to, and I'm thinking to myself like, where's this coming from? And the deeper reason behind why I'm a barber is I do want to be a role model for that young, not even just African or young immigrant kid, right? Whose parents are, trying to force you to go a certain direction as far as your career, right? I want to be like the poster child for you doing what you want to do. Whether it's you want to make music or you want to be a tattoo artist, you want to be a barber, you want to create. I don't care what it is. Just do what you want to do, and trust me, it'll all work out. So, when little Timmy is telling his parents,
I watch Henry and I want to be a barber now.
Henry, look at Henry. He's a barber and he's doing all right. So, I want to be a TikTok influencer. Like, Dad, I want to be a TikTok influencer. So, let me go do what I want to do. Look at Henry. He did what he wanted to do and he's doing all right.
For sure.
So, I think that's like my why for why I'm a barber right now and work so hard.
I like that. I like that. You got any more? I'm about to stump you.
No.
I'm about last question. Actually, I got two. $1 million with Jay-Z in a conversation, or take the $1 million. So take the $1 million.
Okay.
Or have a conversation with Jay-Z. Oh, Burna Boy. Actually, Burna Boy.
A milli. Okay. I'm taking the $1 million all day, every day. Love Jay-Z, love Burna Boy, but I'm taking the $1 million.
The last one.
Yeah.
Give me your 4 Mount Rushmore of barbers.
Come on, Rushmore of barbers in Minnesota?
Yep.
Oh, man. 4 Mount Rushmore
You're
barbers.
not included.
I'm not included.
Actually, you are the mountain.
4 Mount Rushmore barbers. Man, you gotta put Akeem on there, of course. You gotta put Akeem on there. And then you gotta put Thomas Fades on there.
Shout out to him.
And these are 2 of my favorite barbers, by the way. Akeem and Thomas are easily 2 of my favorite barbers in the industry. Number 3, I would have to go with Anthony Chapman at Details. He's I feel like he's one of those barbers who's also an incredible businessman as much as he is a barber. Like he's that good blend of both.
Yeah.
And that's consistent with everybody on my list too. Thomas Fades just opened up his barbershop and in a year is just doing incredible. And he can cut some fucking hair, you know what I'm saying? And same with Kim. Kim is an incredible barber and obviously a great entrepreneur. So I think everyone will have different criteria for why they pick their Mount Rushmore, but I think that's mine. And number 4, I would go with, who would I go with number 4? With number 4, I would go with, you said I can't put myself on there? Number 4, I would go with, Melly. Yeah, number 4, I would go with Melly. Great businessman, great barber, also developing great barbers. I think he's down there in Atlanta doing his thing. So shout out to Melly. We came up together under the Aqua's umbrella. So, we have that kind of
brotherhood.
Kind of that brotherhood as well with Thomas. We all came up under the Aqua's umbrella.
I think you might be biased, right?
I did have one person in there that didn't come up under the Aqua umbrella. So,
okay.
But yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore.
And if you're now on that list, you probably suck. Henry said that.
If you're not on that list, keep working. You're doing your thing. But shout out again. Thanks again, Henry.
Of course.
We're gonna get the famous signature from you. This is the Hall of Fame sweater.
Oh,
so
wow.
do the honor of signing it, and then, you know, we never know. This might come a NFT sweater.
Bet that, Henry.
It's a wrap.